What is up, you guys? I am back and I'm healthier. Last week, if you tuned in, I told you guys how I was super sick with the summer cold and it came in and had hands. Like I was done for. But I'm back. I feel way better now. It's all at a minimum. And we're outside for this episode. Now, why are we outside? Because since that cold, I was like, I need to be out in the wild. I need to appreciate being outside because I was in the house. So if you hear any noises, any buses, it's going to be loud. We're in LA, so that's going to happen. But you focus on me, I'll focus on you, and let's talk about everything going on. I want to touch on one important topic and subject, which will probably be the entirety of this episode, which is NFL running backs. And I pose a question to you at the start of this episode. Do you believe, you as an NFL lover, a football lover, maybe you're even a football player, do you believe running backs are important? I will tell you, yes. They get majority of the carries. They shoulder majority of the load offensively right alongside the quarterback. Now, if you tell me what is the hardest position to play, I would say quarterback is pretty much at the top of the list. They have to know everyone's job. They even have to know defense's job, if you think about it. To me, you start talking about tough jobs, running backs up there. I think they have the most miles on the team. You know what I mean? So I think it's important. I think if you sit here and look me in my face and say, Lachelle, I don't think NFL running backs are important for the success of a team, I would say that I feel like you're trolling me and that you really don't know football, because there's no way you have played fantasy football, you have watched games, you have grown up playing, and a fan of it, that you don't think running backs are important. There was a time growing up where everyone wanted to be a running back. There were times people didn't want to be a quarterback. They wanted to be a running back. And those times have changed now because there's a lot going on. So I got my laptop right here, and we're going to go into some things. Now, there are three running backs right now that kind of sparked this conversation. One being Josh Jacobs for the Las Vegas Raiders, another being Saquon Barkley for the New York Giants, and Tony Pollard for the Dallas Cowboys. All three failed to have meet deadlines to talk long-term contract deals and even more money. All three failed to get that done in the deadline. All three are some of the top running backs in the league. If I was to pull up stats right now for you, Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, and Saquon Barkley were in the top 5 for a lot of categories. And for all three of them to fail to get contracts done in the deadline, it was surprising. And obviously for a running back, it's disheartening. Well, it has started a running back revolution, I like to call it. That's what it is. It's a running back revolution about to happen now, because now the question is, will they sit out? And it's a possibility that they could. Now, this is something that's interesting to me, and someone posed this as part of the argument, I think, a few weeks ago. The shelf life of running backs is very low. By the time they hit about 27, 28, a lot of these running backs may decline, and some of these teams kind of go towards that trend. A few running backs have struggled to land jobs right now, but were cut or, say, not re-signed from their teams that all had distinctive ages to them. So Leonard Fournette was one, 28. You know, there's another few in there that struggled to even get jobs. Dalvin Cook's one, 28. There's a few that are about to be 27 that were kind of in that category of teams kind of were like, okay, you're past your prime. From the average age, they're giving 22 to 25 being the prime for running backs. And it's kind of funny because you look at the three that are now possibly in a holdout, and we're just going to go by age, right? And I always say that some of these you can't count because some are injured. Saquon Barkley doesn't turn 27 until February 9th. In my mind, you kind of got to take 1 year off since he was injured. So in football terms, he's really probably 25. Let's see Josh Jacobs' age. And it's crazy that this has a part to play in it. He is 25. He turns 26 in February. And then let's just look at Tony Pollard's age as well. Tony Pollard is 26, and he just turned 26 April 30th. So all three of them are not in the category of the 27 and 28 range, which is, I guess, a red area for the age and shelf life of running backs. They're pretty much all still in their primes. And if we're talking about stats and how they played, they show no regression at all. Well, because of this, like I said, it has sparked a running back revolution. I'm going to keep saying it because now it has gotten the interest of other running backs around the league. Derrick Henry being one, Christian McCaffrey being another. Now they are all in support of what is going on because the market for running backs has pretty much become depressed. It's a depressed market that they're in. Teams are not looking like they're in the market for running backs anymore, which is crazy because, again, they are doing majority of your carries. You cannot have a successful team unless you have successful running backs as well in your offense. Everyone knows that. Doesn't matter about the age. Doesn't matter about the shelf life. If you don't have a good running back, your team will struggle. You must have a running game to complement your passing game. That has always been the tell of time. And it's even bonus points if you have a running back who can also catch the ball that you could throw out there in a flat, in a slant, have him be a decoy in certain situations and be able to catch the ball. They are a necessity to your offense. And the fact that they're being treated like second-class citizens right now in the NFL is kind of crazy. Like I said, though, this has kind of sparked some things because guess what's going to be happening? While I'm recording this on Saturday, in a few hours on Saturday night, a Zoom call is getting taken place. So by the time you see this, the Zoom call has already been taken place by other running backs in the league. And the person who is initiating this Zoom call is Austin Ekeler for the Los Angeles Chargers. He is initiating this Zoom call, and it all started from a group chat because all of them are frustrated now. Not only are the three frustrated, now it brings a conversation to every other running back in the league. And I think what really had it all sink in for a lot of them is that if we put in perspective what they are asking for, they have solidified their careers, they have the stats to back it up. I'm just going to bring up something that happened recently, which is not to this person's discredit or fault. Bryce Young, who is a rookie. He has not played a down of NFL football just yet. Signed a fully guaranteed 4-year deal for $37.9 million in his rookie deal for the Carolina Panthers. That presents a problem because all three of those guys that are looking for long-term contracts were looking for something similar or even more than that, fully guaranteed. So you're telling me a rookie who has not played a down of football yet is worth you giving fully guaranteed money to, and not guys that have established themselves in the league. That's where this conversation comes from. So, yes, they're having a Zoom call. They're going to get on their Zoom to talk about what they need to do. And it, like I said, Austin Ekeler has organized this thing. He has distributed the Zoom link. They have the Zoom link. They're getting on their Zoom. And all of the running backs have been invited to this conversation. The NFL Players Association is also kind of trying to get involved in some capacity, but not as much as the running backs are doing for themselves, which I am all for. I believe running backs should get paid. I believe in general, if you are doing a good job at your job, you should get adequate money. I feel like that's always been the case. You do good work, you get paid good. Makes sense to me. It should make sense to you guys too, but it seems as though it doesn't. It seems like to the NFL, that's not an issue. That's not a problem to them. They don't see the whole thing that if you do good work, you should get paid. If you're running back, it's not the same. And it's going to bring up a lot of things. Just reading a few of the articles, again, they're here to discuss how they feel in this league. I also think this conversation may help the three figure out what they want to do next. Saquon Barkley went on a podcast where he explained he hates that he may have to be at the point where it's forget the team. And like he said, he's never played football that way. He's never been in a position where he had to say forget an organization or forget a team and his teammates. But now he has to start looking out for himself. He never thought he would be in a position where you got to start wondering, can I sit out? Should I sit out? Again, after you come from an injury like he had and then to have a comeback season like he had, you kind of are going to look at your organization like, I came back, I'm healthy, I played amazing, and you still don't want to give me the money? You don't want to give me fully guaranteed? You don't want to give me the contract after all this? So it is a slap in the face for a lot of them where it's like, I might as well sit out. The thing is, and the problem is, if you look at the history of time of people who have sat out, it never works well. There hasn't been a big success rate with players that sit out in the NFL and end up actually getting the money they want. Some, maybe. But to sit out a season, you could sit out training camp. You could sit out preseason. But we're talking about a whole season. That's a long time to say, I'm not going to be there for my team, because you will lose out on money yourselves. These guys still have families, they have lives, they have businesses, they have people to pay. So that comes into play too. Can I afford to sit out? I think is more the question. Can I afford to sit out? But my thing is, I'm looking at these teams around the NFL and I'm like, some of y'all need a running back though. I'm also looking at the Giants like, y'all can't be losing Saquon Barkley. You're not in a position to lose Saquon Barkley. That's my question to a lot of these teams. Are you in a position to lose this person? Are you really? Las Vegas Raiders, y'all are not in a position. I'm here to tell you that. Y'all are not in a position to lose Josh Jacobs at all. No position. So it makes you wonder, what is going on? Why are running backs treated like second-class citizens? Again, I don't know where this started. I don't know where it came from, because I feel like when I was growing up, everyone wanted to be a running back. Everyone. Every single person. And it seems like times has changed. I don't understand. I seen a tweet from a Hall of Famer running back that literally said, it's crazy that I'm having to convince kids now to switch positions. Like, it's crazy because at a point, you literally had to beg people not to want to be a running back. Again, they get the ball majority of the time right alongside the quarterback. And the fact that now these three guys and other running backs around the league are like, man, we are underappreciated. No one doesn't want us. Even if we have the stats to back it up, the rushing yards, even the receiving yards to back it up. Don't get me started if you're a running back who actually knows how to block. So a lot of these guys are the full package in running back. But instead of these teams saying, you know what, I'm going to hold on to my treasure, they're saying, hey, you do what you want to do. Now we're in this big old standoff of the running back revolution. So now I'm wondering what happens. Do these teams back down and finally say, you know what, you are worth what you're asking for. Let me go ahead and give it to you. Or do these running backs say, I'll sit out a year? It's a big cost for that, I think, for both on the side of the argument, right? It's a big cost. Money for the organization, a season for the running backs. If you ask me, I think the running backs should be paid. Give them their money. I think Saquon Barkley should be paid. I think Josh Jacobs should be paid. I think that Tony Pollard should be paid. Tony Pollard was pretty much running back number one for the Dallas Cowboys. So the fact that they didn't reach anything is preposterous to me, especially after they cut Zeke. So I don't understand how they couldn't say, you know what, Tony, we need you. Tony was shouldering the load in the running game a lot for the Dallas Cowboys. They are also not in a position just to be like, okay, we don't need the running game. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Pay the guys. Pay these running backs. They are important to the offense. They're important to the NFL. They're important to the game of football, period. You show me a team that's just winning Super Bowls that doesn't have somewhat of a running game. Somewhat of one. A decent one. It's not many. You got to have it. It's a formula to the success. So why are we gambling the formula by not wanting to make this market for running backs more attractive? Why is it depressed? Why are we in this situation? There's running backs that want jobs. They want to play. They just want you to give them what they know that they're worth. And from what their stats are saying, they are also worth. So I don't understand the issue. I think running backs should be paid. I'm always going to be on that side of the argument. If you're on a different side of the argument, tell me why you don't want to pay a running back. I'm pretty sure if the Giants lose Saquon, they're going to wish he was there. They're going to see the problem very quickly when you can't run the ball. I'm sure the Raiders will see the same thing. When you can't run the ball because you didn't want to pay Josh Jacobs, the Cowboys will see the same thing. Teams will see the same thing. If you're not trying to get Tony Pollard on your team, you're going to see the hole. But now you're going to force these guys to show you their absence. And then what? Pay these running backs. Get these guys the money and the guaranteed contracts that they're asking for, that they have worked for and proved to have earned. Let's stop this running back revolution before it happens and it goes too far. I'm wishing everything best for the players. Like I said, I'm on the side of the running backs. I'm hoping this gets figured out. I hope that their Zoom goes well to where they figure out the best course of action to get them what they deserve. And hopefully this doesn't go into where some of our best running backs and best players in the NFL are holding out for a year. That's not good for the game. It's not good for fans. It's not good for people with fantasy teams. It's not good for any of us. We need to make sure we're seeing these guys on the field this year. Plain and simple. Pay the running backs. And if you're not on the side of that, I'm looking at you with a little side eye. Because why you don't want the running backs to be paid? What's the problem? What's the issue? What beef you got with running backs? Tell me. I said this a few weeks ago that we were going to talk more about Summer League, that I was going to dive deeper. But I will, and I promise you I will. Eventually I will. But I do want to say this about the NBA rookies and what I saw from Summer League. One, congrats to the Cleveland Cavaliers for winning Summer League. They're Summer League champs. Imani Bates looks really good in this system that I saw from Summer League. I know he will only get better. I know he will progress and develop even more. But what the glimpses that I saw, there's some pro level moves that he's already doing. And I expect a very great rookie season for him. If done correctly with the Cavs, I think he could be a big help. I will say this about these NBA rookies in this class. This class is more impressive than I think everyone thought. I think a lot of people weren't very fond of this class. Not enough big names is what people said. This class seemed a little different. This class is very polished. I think in the last few drafts, this draft and this rookie class is special because a lot of them have already taken steps to be pros. A lot of them, like when we're talking about Scoot Henderson being in G League for a few years, we're talking about the Thompson twins being in OTE. Some of them have kind of already prepared themselves to be in the league, and it shows in how they play, kind of just their pace, their playmaking, their ability to score on all three levels. I saw so many glimpses where I was like, these aren't rookies. These guys are kind of already performing in a level that you almost think that they're second year in the league. That's what I saw a lot from these rookies in this summer league. Keontae George really showed out a lot in this summer league. That made me look and say, you know what? I think this rookie of the year race is going to be way closer this year than it was this previous year. I don't think there's someone who's running away with it. I don't think Victor Wembanyama's running away with it. I don't think Scoot Henderson is running away with it. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. I think we're going to see a lot from these rookies that are going to impress so many people because they are good. Anthony Black showed out. Jett Howard showed out. So many of these guys, they just look good. Cam Whitmore looked good for the Houston Rockets. He ended up winning Summer League MVP. These guys, I truly believe, are prepped and primed for this NBA. I think they're going to bring another level of excitement to the league. They just seem so all well put together. They seem like their games look not complete just yet because they're rookies. There's always going to be things to complete with your game. But their games look very good to be going into their rookie season. And obviously, we're only going to see them get better as they get more games under their belt. They start playing in that fast-paced offense. They start playing against all-stars and superstars. And we'll see how they respond to these things. But these guys, they're good. They're good. This rookie class is good. And people need to pay more attention to them. And you're going to see a lot of them really, really catapult in how they progress, especially in the systems that we'll be in. We'll see a lot of the younger talent get better for the teams that have younger teams, like for the Rockets and for the Pistons and, for the Magic. People are going to have opportunities to show out in this first year, and I think this class is really impressive and really good. So I'm here to tell you from what I saw from Summer League. Again, I'll pinpoint more people in these weeks as we're going through it. But from what I saw, this is a really solid class, a really impressive class, a class that everyone needs to take note of. And I think we're going to see even more of it in the season, how great they all are and how they really are meant to be in the league and how they're playing. The Summer League just blew me away with some of them and how from their first game to their last games, you really started to see wait, they're getting comfortable. And it makes you wonder, once they really get comfortable in the league, get into the pace, get into the nutrition and everything and just the rhythm and the hustle and bustle of the long season of the NBA, these guys are going to be really good and they're going to be really well off. So make sure you're keeping your eyes on this rookie class because they're not going to disappoint whatsoever. All I got for you guys this week. I'm always appreciative of y'all coming to kick it with me. Like I said, we were outside this time. I know y'all hear this plane. I know y'all probably heard a bus. Y'all probably heard a car. But again, it's me and you. We're talking about sports. We got to talk about the running backs, how I am pro running back revolution so they could get what they deserve. And some of the standouts from what I saw from this rookie class in the summer league and how we all need to be taking notice of it. Again, I appreciate you guys always taking the time out of your busy schedules to come kick it with me because I love talking to you guys. So again, like, like, comment, subscribe, share on all platforms. Tell your friend, tell your cousin, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your brother, uncle, sister, and everybody to come and kick it with me on YouTube as we're talking about all things sports, music, culture, entertainment, shows. Go watch Swagger. Plugging that back in. Go watch Swagger. I'm telling y'all, one of the best shows you could go watch. I will not steer you wrong. Go watch Swagger and go watch The Bear. If you watch Swagger and The Bear and you come back to me and say you didn't like it, I know you're lying, because those shows, 10 out of 10 television. Go watch it. I'm telling you, Swagger will not disappoint you. Season 2 is going on currently right now, so you have time to go binge season 1 and then come and be right on time for season 2. So go do that. And The Bear, both seasons are on Hulu right now. You go binge that right now, today. Go do it. You will not be disappointed. And then come back to me so we can talk about it, because I love talking about TV shows, especially Swagger. I'm with them. I'm with Swagger DMV. Just telling you. Go watch it. So, again, I appreciate you guys so much. Next week, we'll talk about whatever comes up soon. We're going to talk more about the running backs. We're going to talk more about this rookie class. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. Make sure you're tuning into the World Cup to cheer on USA women's national team. They won against Vietnam. Let's hope they keep going. So, we got a lot to discuss. The summer, it's not over yet. It's not over. I get it's the end of the July, but it's not over yet. We got a lot to talk about and discuss. I always appreciate you guys coming to kick it with me. I will see you guys next week. Make sure y'all are staying safe out there. Do not catch a summer cold like I did. I hope you're being happy, healthy, and blessed. And I am wishing y'all the best week, and I will see y'all next week.